Let's see, how do I access this? Ooh, this is really dark. Let's see, we have some of these lawn experiments. The shampoo test. Apply baby shampoo or a commercial soil surfactant to one section of your yard. Compacted clay. Shampoo breaks surface tension to allow water infiltration. Use a screwdriver test before and after to measure how easily the blade slides into the soil. That might actually be useful for me because I have clay soil. It's very compacted, very hard soil. I have to aerate it quite a bit. The nutrient flush. Test your lawn's tolerance and recovery from synthetic over-fertilization on a tiny isolated patch. Test your lawn's tolerance and recovery from synthetic. Document how many weeks of deep watering are required to flush away excess salts and reverse grass burn. So I guess what that's saying is put a heavy amount of granule fertilizer onto a section of your lawn and see how long it takes to wash away. That's interesting because you want it to stay. You don't want it to go too fast. You want it to get into the soil effectively, but you don't want it to stay there forever either. You want it to be able to wash away long before you apply your next application of fertilizer. The No-Mow Micro Meadow. No-Mow Micro Meadow. Stop mowing a small hidden section of your yard for 4 to 6 weeks. Monitor how native weeds, wildflowers, and local bee populations react to the taller habitat. I actually tried that for an entire year. I think 2 years ago I didn't do the edging on the fence line of my yard, and the grass got really tall, like I want to say close to 3 feet tall. That might be an exaggeration, but it felt accurate at the time. And really what I wanted to do was see if that would prevent weeds getting in from my neighbor's lawn. And I think it might have worked with that consideration. But I don't think, I think what ended up becoming the problem that year was crabgrass. I ended up with an infestation of crabgrass. And at that time I was treating everything myself because I had some extra time on my hands. Although where I live, if you self-treat your yard, whether it's fertilizer, pesticide, whatever it may be, it's pretty much the same price as if you hire a professional to do it, but then you have to do it yourself. So this year I didn't have the extra time and I decided to hire a professional to do it. and it doesn't seem like it's any better. If anything, I think it's a little worse, except for maybe the backyard actually does look a little better from the fertilization. So I got the full package this year. Maybe next year I'll consider reducing those services and do some of them myself, because next year I should have some extra time. But anyway, allowing that fence line to grow, I don't recommend. I wouldn't do it again. It actually looked kind of nice because it made the edges sort of look like a pasture, and then you had the heads of the grass forming those seeds that sort of look like wheat plants. And it looked nice, but the results, the sort of systemic results within the yard itself was not satisfactory for me. I think it contributed to that infestation I ended up getting. So the No-Mow Micro Meadow, I did it. Don't recommend it. But then again, it may be different in your climate. I mean, you know, climates change from climates change sort of from state to state, but soil types can change from neighborhood to neighborhood, really. I mean, everything is so terraformed. Everything we're standing on right there was pretty much put there by a human. There's very little of nature's influence on the land anymore. Where I'm at right now, 50 years ago, it was all just swampland, endless swampland. People used to come here when they were kids to look for, you know, frogs and lizards and things. And then at some point during the 60s and 70s, they decided to sort of take the land, turn it into residential areas, and they just filled it with sand. They just put sand all over the place, and it turned into this sort of compacted clay soil that I deal with today. And it's not bad. I'm still able to make a nice yard, but if I just let it go to do what it was going to naturally do, I'm not sure that it would look so nice. Maybe healthier for the environment, but you know, I don't have that big of a patch of land. I have about just under half an acre, and I don't feel that that's big enough for me to dedicate a section to just letting it go how it naturally would. A lot of people are into that today, though. A lot of environmentalists, they're interested in just letting things go how they naturally would. But you know, I think if the world turned into that show Life After People, it would be hundreds of years before this area went back to the way it was. It may never go back to the way it was, but I don't think any of the trees around here are just naturally there. Maybe some, but I'm sure it's far and few in between. We have some really huge trees that they may have decided to keep when they kept this neighborhood, but for the most part, somebody put them there. We have a tree line of pines, and they're two perfectly lined up to have been naturally there. I have this maple in the center that I'm 100% positive is not naturally there. It's a nice maple, though. It's a good location. I used to have a huge locust tree right over here in my yard, and I loved that thing. It gave me great shade in my yard for when we were hanging out on our porch. But if you know anything about a locust tree, they have these teeny tiny leaves, and all year long they're just shedding these teeny tiny leaves, and they get everywhere, and the branches die. And oh, hey, what's up, Vayu? Welcome. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. What was I talking about? Oh, the locust tree. Man, I love that locust tree. That thing was about Had to be at least 100 feet tall. But part of it was touching the roof of my house, which is a risk. And locust trees, they tend to have dying branches. They're very heavy, and they come off when you have a storm, and they just slam onto the ground. All that didn't really bother me. I could have had it pruned up, but once I got my dog, Luigi, that's what made me decide to get rid of that tree. Because all those little tiny leaves that were shedding everywhere, he was picking them all up and bringing them in the house, and they were just getting scattered all over the house. They were getting in our bed, getting in our couch. And, you know, I loved that tree, but I'm certainly not getting rid of my dog. And so we decided to get rid of that tree, and it was a big job. I had to pay quite a bit of money. They had to bring back a huge truck with one of those lifts. I can't think of what it's called. It's like a can that they stand in, and it lifts them way up high in the sky, and then they chopped it up piece by piece, and they had to put rope on it to prevent it from going in certain directions. And it was kind of fascinating, actually. There were certain chunks that they just let fall to the ground, and every time it fell to the ground, it was super loud. It would make a tiny crater. Yeah, I jumped on that on the Prism app is what I did. So there are much less features, I think, on the Prism app. I don't know. I don't have 50 subs yet, so I can't testify to that. But I used the Prism app, and it worked. Hey, Blue. Welcome to the live. Thank you for coming. Thanks for the support. But yeah, once we removed that tree, the ground was not level there whatsoever. It was... that tree may have naturally been there. That may have been there before the neighborhood was built. And the roots had to have been super deep, and it left a good 3-inch crater, because I didn't pay them to fill it in and level it. Locust tree. It was a locust tree. It's gone now. But I can show you the spot where it was. It took me about 4 years to really get it level, and it's still not perfectly level. Hang on, I gotta open this little door. I bought a case for my phone that has a door to cover the camera. Oh, it took me about 4 years to get it level. But it was right there. And now you can't tell from just looking at it. If you walk on it, you can feel some divots here and there. But it's pretty... oh, come on. But it's pretty level now. And it looks nice. But it took a lot of effort with a leveling rake and amending the soil. It took a lot of work to get that level. I remember the second year after we removed the tree, I thought I had it good. And I took my riding mower and rode over it, and there was some moisture trapped right beneath that grass, and it just dug right into that soil. My mower got stuck. It took me like 2 hours to get it out. I had to pull out a bunch of rugs from the house to get some traction under the wheels, and well, I destroyed those rugs. Those rugs are gone now. Vayu, so you mean I can go live with the help of the Prism app? Actually, I just have my phone with me. I had to leave my other devices in Canada with my team for business stuff. Can I make it work with my phone? Yeah, I'm just using my phone. I mean, I have my computer here and a tablet here just as sort of backup stimulation to keep my brain working, because sometimes I just don't know what the hell to talk about. Yeah, when you look at it, you really can't tell, Blue, that there was a massive tree there. Sometimes I wish I would have kept that tree, because it was really nice, and it actually As far as spreading the sunlight throughout the yard, it did it perfectly to make the grass grow. The grass was super healthy. It took much less work to keep it looking nice when I had that tree there. Vayu, that's what he's using, his phone. Yeah, I'm just using my phone. I have a S24 Ultra. I downloaded the Prism app after multiple people told me to just get on the Prism app and go live and see if it works. And it's working. Here I am, and here you guys are. Oh no, yikes, poor mower. Yeah, it was, well, it survived. It did fine. But that thing is heavier than I originally thought, because, you know, when something like that happens, the first thing you try to do is push it out, and I was not pushing it out. Vayu Blue, I'm bad at everything except poker. Yeah, I think you did dominate me on poker the other day. I mean, it's easy to do. If you are familiar with, I'm trying to think of what you could. I think if you're familiar with using phone cameras, you should be able to figure it out pretty easy. Let's talk about favorites. Movie, music, food. I have to write that down so I don't forget it. Music, movie, food. That's a very challenging question. Let's see, Vayu, you're great at being a wise ass. Just Blue-Eyed Lady, yeah, it helped that you shared the link in the Discord. Vayu, Blue, whatever, at least I don't go all in blindly. Just Blue-Eyed Lady. LMFAO, shut it, Vayu. H made me do it. He's all, it's fake money, it's fake money. It is fake money. It's, playing poker is a little less enjoyable when you're playing with fake money. Just because people don't take the game as seriously, it's not as intense, but at the same time, I don't want to give you guys all my money. I don't have that much to give. But let's see, favorite music. You want to know my favorite music? What's your favorite music? I find that to be a really hard question because I really like music. For 10 years, before I became a nurse, I was a DJ, professional DJ. I had a lot of equipment. I still have some of the equipment. All my controllers are broken. But I like all kinds of music. Let's see. You can just call me Blue. Alright, I'll call you Blue. Hey, yes, I'm getting better. I did pretty okay last night. Color blue and red in the poker. Same, it really just depends on the mood. So, yeah, it really kind of depends on your mood. And I think recently in the past 5 to 10 years when it comes to music, you know, there's so many algorithms out there, and what is marketed to you is based on sort of your historical preferences. Excuse me. So recently I got put onto this newer band called Father of Peace. And if you like 90s rock music, it's kind of a mashup of like Red Hot Chili Peppers and System of a Down, and I'm trying to think of what else they made me think of. That's probably good though, but it doesn't feel entirely original. It feels like they're mashing up a lot of 90s rock, but it's good. They're pretty young. They must be in their early 20s. They're from Israel. There's only 3 of them, and I think they only have 1 official album out. So that's one thing I've been listening to lately. And then Brian Andrews is a country rock singer. He is not very well known, but that was marketed to me recently on I think mainly because of political affiliation. I used to like a lot of country music, and so my sort of 2016 protest was that I wasn't going to buy any country music anymore. But then Brian Andrews was marketed to me, and I was like, yep, buying his album. It was good. Some of the older stuff is relatively basic, but this new album, let me see if I can find what it's called. Oh, Independence Day. That's what it's called. It's called Independence Day. And I don't know, it just resonated with me. Let's see, Blue, LMFAO, Vayu, I'ma smack you. Blue, I can go from country to metal to soft rock to gospel to pop opera. Yeah, I think for most of the modern music, I tend to lean electronic, like Yellow Claw and a lot of trap music, electronic trap music. It's good for like working out and things like that. It's very for dancing, definitely good for dancing. And it's I don't know, for the modern era, that just seems to that just seems to be up there as far as what I prefer. As far as older music, when I was young, I listened to a lot of hip hop, rap, R&B. And then as I got older, I started sort of branching out, and then once I became a DJ, I was just all over the place. Hootie and the Blowfish, yep, they're good. They were good. I don't know if I ever bought any of their albums, but I'm positive I interacted with it during my DJ career. Favorite food. Let's talk about favorite food. Vayu, no more whiskey for you. Yeah, they do talk about how you drink a lot, don't you? I don't drink alcohol nearly as much as I should. I really should drink more often. Come on, Blue, I'm recovered now. Give me my glass. Blue, oh, okay. I need new music for my workouts, so that sounds good. Yeah, depending on what you like. Brian Andrews might not be great for workout music unless you align with his political beliefs. Then it might get you hype. The Fathers of Peace might, maybe. But definitely if you go with any sort of Yellow Claw or Bass Nectar, things like that, and you enjoy that kind of stuff, yeah, it'll motivate you to get moving for sure, in my opinion. Vayu, no, I'm going to spray you with a water bottle like a cat. Blue, wow, you were a DJ for how long? What made you stop? Yeah, I was a DJ for 10 years. Initially I was doing it independently, and then I signed to a company and worked for them about 6 years, and they sort of sent me all over the state. I did a lot of work. What stopped me was I became a nurse. So I'm a nurse now. That's my career. You know, DJing is fun to a certain extent, but it is a job. And once it gets to the point where, you know, you're getting paid to do it, you no longer enjoy the party. So, like I said, I don't have a functioning controller anymore. The last one I had broke. But if I were to get back into it, it would more likely be a hobbyist activity. But I wouldn't mind getting back into it. But you know, it costs some money to get started, and it sort of takes a lot of practice to get used to the controllers and, you know, playing with music. You don't want to just go out there and blind and mess with things, although I did do that sometimes, and it was still successful. But I think another thing is the community that I live in. There's not a huge demand for it. So even though when I was doing it independently, I was kind of a house DJ for a few bars in town and a couple in another town over. And then once I signed to the company, they sent me to a lot of weddings and bar mitzvahs and proms and things like that. But the demand just isn't there like it would be, and I'm not entirely sure where you guys live, so. But there may be a higher demand where you live. But I could say as far as hourly pay, it paid well. It paid better than nursing. I mean, if I could get full-time work doing that, I would probably make a lot more money. You want to know where I lean more towards, left or right? Is that what you're asking? Value, I must say, yeah, as much as you should, mate. Wow, you're awesome. She is a fun art, but being a nurse is caring for others, and that's so rewarding. Yeah, being a nurse is definitely rewarding, and once you go through nursing school, it's sort of ingrained in your consciousness, and those are philosophies that never fully go away. Hey, how are you doing? I am on live right now. They're asking me a lot of personal questions. They want to get to know me. I only have 2 people in here, but they're 2 of the greatest people that are in here.
Cool.
Let's see. Wow, that's amazing. DJing is a fun art, I'm sure, but being a nurse is so fulfilling. Yeah, being a nurse is very challenging. It you know, I'd give it a 50-50. It's definitely fulfilling and satisfying when things work out, and it's very sort of shattering to your psyche when things do not work out as well. Let's see. Vayu Kapoor, why I'm so quiet in HS live stream but wild all around, and that's when I got you guys from HS stream itself. Blue. No, the guy who you told me to listen to, instead it leans towards how he is politically, I would like his music. Right, yeah. I mean, I guess it depends if you're a heavily political person. If you don't care about politics, you may like it either way, but he definitely leans left. Yes, this is the missus. Do you care if I put you on camera? They're asking. No, she doesn't want to be on camera. I'm not going to do that to her. Hey, Hardik, how are you? Welcome to the live. Thank you for hopping in. What up, playa? Playa. Uh-oh, Blue has a bone to pick with you. Blue is one of your managing moderators, if I'm not mistaken. Blue, I don't care about politics really too much. That's good. It's hard to stay out of that these days. Everything is so extreme. I cannot say I don't care about politics personally. I wish I could. But many things have been so impactful. Vayu HS is my teacher, of course, and I behave well enough in history. That's funny. Blue. Why do I look like a man in the picture for last night's StreamYard? Oh, you guys did a StreamYard? I didn't know that. I missed it somehow. Vayu, hard dick with extra K. His name is Hardik. I knew that somebody would make that connection eventually. Don't do that. Don't do that, Vayu. We're grown in here. No hard dick out of Hardik. Although with all the penis jokes, he probably likes it. Blue, you took me the fuck out of that picture. No, I'm just a regular mod, but I'm a cook mod. When you say you're a cook mod, does that mean you're a really good mod, or does that mean you are a cook and a mod? Blue, AI made me an old man. Chat GPT. Vayu, I saw that image too. Blue, H. Sam looks like a model, and in the blue man next to her. I missed all this. I didn't see any of it, so I can't give you my opinion on it. I apologize. All right, food. Somebody mentioned food. What are your favorite foods? Blue H makes penis jokes. He does make penis jokes, yeah. Yeah. Cool mod, not cook. Stupid autocorrect. Yeah, autocorrect fails me very often. Yeah. Sometimes I think my autocorrect is a native Korean speaker and just doesn't know what it's doing. Hit the like, gooners. Yeah. You guys taught me what that word means. I'm gonna have to spread it around town here. They probably already know. I'm probably just living in a bubble of people who don't know that word yet. Biodiversity and alternate turf. That seems interesting. H teaches us so many useful things. You know, he does seem like like somewhat of a wise man in his streams. A wise man and a wise guy, if that goes together. But you know, he has a unique set of experiences. Poker tonight, maybe, possibly. I got some work ahead of me in a couple of hours. Yesterday I had to do a bunch of tedious stuff. I had to do a SWOT analysis and a workflow analysis, and now I have to sum everything up into a video presentation to submit. And if I can get that done and I still have some energy after that, maybe, possibly. We got to figure out how to get the mics working, because it would be more, I would enjoy it more if we could just talk to each other instead of needing to type. Blue, you like how Prism has you in colorful colors in the chat. I don't know if you guys see the same thing that I'm seeing. I'll have to go back and look when I'm done here. You'll join poker, but not the StreamYard? Why not join the StreamYard? Shoot the shit with people. There's nothing wrong with it. The chat is up on your video and it's all colorful. Is it like layered over the regular YouTube chat, or does it? I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. We figured out solution yesterday for the mics. Cool. If that's what you're talking about. Blue, I'll screenshot and post it on Discord to show you. Yeah, do that. See if I can bring that up. Layer on layer. Okay, so I don't know how to get rid of that. I don't think I can get rid of that and be able to see what you guys are saying. Let's see. This one doesn't look like a layer on layer. It looks like there's only one layer of the chat. Thank you for posting that, Blue. I appreciate that. That's helpful. Yeah, Blue, I definitely think you should join the stream. I mean, it seems like we're sort of a networking community here. So we all kind of, need to get to know some details about each other. It doesn't have to be too personal. You can still be private if that's what you're concerned about. Oh. Okay. I can't tell if the feed is showing in the shorts either. It's all right. It's not a huge deal. I doubt I wouldn't be able to make a career out of this until I was ready to retire anyway, which may be the time that I want to make a career out of it. Who knows? Well, since we're here, I'm going to show you guys one of the projects I have going. I don't know if anybody saw it yesterday. But first, I'm going to sip my coffee. It's really sunny, so I can't see the chat. Got this nice apple tree here, though. Yeah, did Bayou go live? I'll have to hop in that one when he does. Oh, good. My garage is open. All right, so let's see if I can figure this out. Here we go. Oh, the door's closed. There we go. So I had 2 pine trees right there, sort of in line with that crabapple tree. If you can see that, it's really dark for me. But I had 2 pine trees there. Chopped them down, and I have clay soil, and sometimes it can be hard to manage. So it'll probably take me months to get the grass to grow where those pine trees were. So this is what I got. I have this little timer hooked up to my hose, and I do have a regular sprinkler system in my yard, but it's hard to do sort of pinpoint targeted sprays with that. It's me, don't worry. I set my ring off. Oh, I have this kink here. Why does that keep happening? Bye. Let's see if I can undo that. There we go. Well, I'll see if it works with that kink. So it follows here, loops around this crabapple tree, and I'll try to get an angle where the sun is not too extreme. And then I have these little misters here. They keep the soil wet. They go off for 10 minutes once every 2 hours. I think that has been keeping the soil moist enough given the weather we've been having. It's been kind of cool. It's been in the upper 80s. So if it gets much higher than that, I might have to switch it to 15 minutes instead of 10 minutes. Then we got this one over here. But yeah, maybe I'll do a manual start so you guys can see what it looks like when it's spraying. Won't hurt anything. So with this Orbit, I think this is Orbit, I don't know, I got this one at Home Depot. Initially I ordered a cheap one off of Amazon, and the thing was a piece of shit. It broke instantly, so I just returned it and got this one from Home Depot. Home Depot tends to be reliable when it comes to things. But yeah, to do a manual start, you just click that manual button, It opens the valve to let the water through the hose. And is it working? Is it not working? It's not working. I hope it's not because of that kink. Let's see if I can fix that kink. Oh yeah, I let the water through and it tightened up that kink. We all know how you guys like your kinks. There we go. That's letting that through. So if I just bring this out a little bit, that might work. Yeah, there we go. Now we're spraying. So not sure if you guys can see that, but those little sprinklers were pretty cheap. They're about $8 a piece, and they do the job. Very much so. Do the job. So, oh, it looks like some of the new grass I planted the other day is already germinated and coming up. Cool. All right. So that was exciting. What a kinky hose. Oh yeah. I only work with kinky hose. Woo! Super sunny. The device is too hot. Use the overheating protection setting to improve live stream performance. Is my live stream not doing well? Ah, shit. Apply. See if that helps. Now I can't see the chat. Let's see if I can get it back. There we go. I'm not sure what that did differently. Blue, oh sweet Mo, that was fun to see. Thanks, Blue. I appreciate that. I don't think my wife would say the same thing. She would tell me I'm boring. Why would I show that on my live stream? Who cares about that? And I would tell her, somebody cares. Somebody cares. MST, Blue, MST and Carvana are king hoes. Vayu Mo, you really have some great views. MST and Carvana are kinky hoes. Oh, let's see. So what does the what's the next project, Mo? You know, I don't know. I'm not really sure what the next project is. We're sort of late into the summer. So I have limited time to start anything. As far as yard stuff, I'm probably going to do more stuff in the house. I want to renovate my bedroom. And maybe I'll do some videos on that. Mo, what does your wife do? My wife also works in the public sector. She does investigations of things within the healthcare setting. Sort of like licensing, but not quite licensing. That's why she doesn't like to have her name be made public, although we don't really do anything that should be concerning. Maybe one day she'll get comfortable with it, but I don't really blame her either, because in our community it's relatively small. It's easy to find people. You know, if somebody wanted to come and harass us, they could just go around town and ask people, say, hey, you know so and so? And almost guaranteed, you ask a half a dozen people, somebody's gonna say, oh yeah, I saw them, blah blah blah. We all get bored with our spouse. It's okay. I don't get bored with my spouse. I love her very much. She helps me a lot. She's actually very supportive. But you're referring to her getting bored with me, which, yeah, I think some of my hobbies are probably very boring to her. Your channel has a seasonal name. Should I change the name of it come winter? Let's shovel the driveway together. Ugh, that would I hate shoveling snow. That's the worst. Oh, nice. Do y'all work in the same building? No, we do not work in the same building. We actually met in the same building. We worked in a psych ward together. So I usually, when people ask how we met, I just tell them that we met in a psych ward and leave it at that. But actually, we worked together. And then I quit. And then we got together. And now we're married. Vayu HS got a Desi whiskey with me. I hope you know about that. Which Desi whiskey do you have? Actually, one thing my wife has been working on, and I can show you guys that if you're interested, is the corner of our yard. Hopefully this thing doesn't overheat too much. So we've been sort of working on this for a few years, and it's definitely not perfect, but it looks nice. It's getting there. And I have the in-ground irrigation set to water this 4 times a day. I think 4 times a day. So it gets a little slushy back here sometimes, but we have this little Easter Island tiki god. We planted some hostas a couple years ago. This is a hydrangea that we planted last year. So this year it's not, I mean, it's bigger than last year, but it's not producing any flowers. This is a hydrangea that we stole from somebody's trash in our neighborhood. We just plopped it back here and figured let's see what it does. And this year it's growing some nice big poofy pink flowers. It's pretty nice, but they're kind of facing the fence too, so we can't see them that well from the house, but they definitely look nice. I'm gonna have to come back here and take pictures of these. And then we have these hostas lining it up, which we're gonna have to dig some of those out because it looks like it's competing for space with the hydrangea. I don't know how easy that is to see. And then we have some ditch lilies back here that have lost their flowers. I think it's beyond their season. But those are doing really well back here. Another hosta. Another hydrangea that we stole from somebody's trash. And this one has something going on because these parts are not growing in. And I don't know if we just got a root system that wouldn't support these stalks and if we just need to snip those back. I'm not sure, but these leaves look very healthy. They look like they're doing great. Not a whole lot of signs of parasites or anything like that, other than this looks like there's been some, I can't think of the word, those little slug things that get them. Actually, this one looks like it has a bunch of them on there. Grubs, that's what I'm thinking of, grubs. I think that these have been getting attacked by grubs. I might have to do a grub control treatment. There we go. Hydrangeas. Yep, hydrangeas. Thank you. Yeah, they do look nice. Vayu, what I always like about HS is more to know. He picks up a thing and F's it up, knowing better, and ends up becoming a master. That's true. You know, you'll meet a lot of people who, if they're not naturally good at things, they don't get into it. But you only really get good at something by repeatedly trying and by failing at it, you know? When I first started out as a DJ, I reflect on that and I think, man, I was a trash DJ. Even being in my 40s now, I look back at my 30s and my 20s and just think, oh man, I was a trash human being. Oh shit, there's a wasp. Blue, I don't have a green thumb. Do you have a yard? Do you have a green space of any kind? Hardick, catch you all at 3. Mo, Blue, Vayu. Alright, thanks for coming by, man. I'll try to hop in your live if I can. Blue, Leda H, I'll be late. I'm in a live. Blue, Vayu. What I actually like about Blue is just to go all in. You guys are silly. You guys are so silly. All right, so you guys are still here. So we were talking about food, favorite foods. Do you guys have a favorite food? I like all food. My wife recently had to go gluten-free, and that has been somewhat of a challenge, figuring out what she can tolerate. And last year I had to try and eliminate trans fats from my diet, which really wasn't that hard. But all the stuff I really liked is full of trans fats. All the commercially baked goods, the pies and the Little Debbies and all the candies, you know, I used to fill up on that stuff. And yeah, I can't anymore. That just seems to be the case. Anything you indulge in when you're younger, when you get older, you have to cut it out because it's hurting you. Security, hair, makeup, and diaper change time by Mark. Ah, got it. Got it. Are you his direct caregiver? Is that what's going on? Blue, are you guys still here? I'm here. So far. H, make sure he uses the good cream this time. Yes, something that contains zinc. Contains zinc and no menthol. Nothing mentholated. Blue, yeah, good on her. I also made big changes to my diet too, and I feel a lot better. What kind of changes did you make, Blue? Did you have to cut out gluten? If you did, I would appreciate some advice on that. I honestly don't think it's been too bad, the things we've been coming up with, because, you know, mostly taco stuff is gluten-free, making stuff with potatoes. The hard thing has been like burgers, hot dogs, because she can't have the buns, and then I'm eating with a bun, and she you know, is jealous, and I feel bad. Although we did buy some gluten-free spaghetti noodles recently. I can't remember what brand it was, but those were pretty delicious. Blue, I'm just trying to do more fresh food and chicken and eggs more, but I miss Little Debbie's. Yeah, you know, they have been putting so much bullshit in our food since, well, since I was a kid. I don't want to make any assumptions about your age or anything like that, but I was born in the 80s, and I feel like they just gave us a bunch of synthesized crap, and now we're paying for it. Things like Capri Sun and Gushers, and what else kind of crap did we eat? I don't know. We ate a lot of crap that I think was half cardboard and styrofoam. I watch gluten, but I do low or no sugar. I just don't do much bread anymore. Yeah. Because that's what I'm hearing, is that a lot of the gluten-free breads are high in sugars, and that just leads to another problem. Vayu, gotta go. See you guys sooner or later, but on the poker night for sure. All right, thanks for hopping in, Vayu. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I eat twice a day Water only for drink. I eat between 11 a.m., 7 p.m. time frame for the intermittent fasting. So you do intermittent fasting. That's something I can't do because a little personal disclosure. Last year, somehow, some way, I caught Giardia. If you're not familiar with Giardia, Giardia is a parasite that commonly is ingested through drinking natural bodies of water, which I don't do. I don't go around drinking from rivers and lakes or puddles or anything like that. So I'm not really entirely sure how I got it. It's not something that's common in my community, but somehow I got it. And it was one of those things where I kept going to and fro the hospital, and they just kept saying, oh, you have a GI virus, oh, you have this, oh, you have that. They don't test for it because this is something that's more commonly found in third world countries, so they don't think to test for it. And so I was suffering with that for 6 months, and I was getting to the point where I was just feeling really weak and falling over and losing weight. I lost 12 pounds doing that, or having that parasite. And then finally I spoke to my doctor and I was like, look, something is wrong, something is not going right. So I basically just said, I want you guys to test everything, just figure out what's going on because I feel like I'm dying. And so they did a full panel, and I tested positive for Giardia. I took a one-time dose of tinidazole, and I shit my brains out for 2 days, and it was gone. I don't have those feelings anymore. But with that said, ever since then, if I go an extended period of time without food, I just feel really weak. So maybe one day I can fully recover from that happening and try some intermittent fasting. Fruit roll-ups, yeah, fruit roll-ups was probably mostly particles of styrofoam that they were poisoning us with. Blue Twinkie Swiss cake rolls were the shit. Yeah, they were delicious, And as a kid, you could just eat those endlessly. Someone had to stop you. That's another thing, is they made this stuff addictive. They gave it addictive properties so that you would just keep going. Now we all have, diabetes and gluten intolerance and trans fat issues and whatever they may be. Blue, whoa, I never heard of it, but oh my god, that's insane, Mo. Yeah, it was pretty intense. Last year was rough. Vayu, Blue is in her 80s. I mean, how can someone go all in? Blue, Vayu, I'm going to spank you. Blue, damn, 12 pounds. Yeah, I lost 12 pounds and I gained 4 of it back now at this point. But with that said, I had to cut out all the trans fats, so there's probably a little cushion there that I'm doing okay with. Blue, wow, that's insane. Yeah, don't do the intermittent fasting. You got to listen to your body. I'm 2 pounds away to 30 pounds down from when I started in May. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I'm glad to hear that. Blue, now we're all sugar addicts. Yeah, absolutely. I cut out soda a long time ago, and I feel much better. There would be points in time where I would get cravings for like Coca-Cola, orange soda, and things like that. And it's one of those things where you cut it out and you don't necessarily feel a difference until you try to bring it back. And my wife really likes drinking Coca-Cola. If I start sharing more of our travel vlogs, you'll always see her with Coca-Cola. But when we first got together, there would be points in time when I would see her drinking Coca-Cola and I'd be like, oh, give me a little bit. And then, as soon as it touches your lips, you're just going all in. You can't, because it's been so long since you felt that sensation, and then you just chug it. Just chug, 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 chug. But now, whenever I drink any kind of soda, I just feel bloated for days upon days, and I just can't do it anymore. So I just cut out soda. I don't do it anymore. I stick to juices and water. Let's see. Yeah, I don't do the intermittent fast. No, I already read that. Blue, now we're all sugar addicts. Yep, we are sugar addicts. Mo, how old do you think I am? Don't worry, you won't offend me. I really don't know. It's hard to say. I don't have enough details. But based on the intermittent fasting, and trying to regulate your diet, I would guess you're in your 30s, mid 30s, most likely. Blue, yes, I tried to drink some lemonade from a restaurant from doing a water-only diet for weeks, and it was too sweet. Yeah, some of the restaurant lemonade, they pack it full of sugar, and then lemonade triggers your stomach to produce acid too. So if you don't ease yourself into that, you're gonna have heartburn for days. But lemonade is another one of those things that's packed full of sugar, and if you don't have it for a while, as soon as you start sipping it, you feel the need to just chug it. But one of my local supermarkets sells a more natural lemonade called Milo's, I think it's called. And a lot of times me and my wife will buy that, and then we just do half the Milo's, half water, and it's tolerable, and it feels and tastes good. Blue, yeah, you got close. I'll be 40 in May. Congratulations, that's a major life milestone. I remember when I turned 40, I don't know how I felt about it. Getting older isn't bad as long as you get better. We have to work at self-improvement constantly, and I think that's really the goal. Definitely in my 40s, I'm a better person than I was in my 30s. I have a higher credit score. I own a home. Well, in my 30s, I owned a home too, but now I own a nicer home. Yeah, I think I'm doing better. You just gotta make realistic goals, and then work every day at inching towards those goals. And I think that in our 40s, we sort of gained a bit of life's wisdom that it has to offer. And I don't know, maybe I just feel that way because I am in my 40s. But I sort of think it's a perfect time to sort of really execute things and establish those realistic life goals and inch your way towards it. Hopefully people are doing that in their 30s as well. Also in their 20s, if people are doing that in their 20s, then they're probably set at this point and they got nothing to worry about. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking out of my ass and rambling. Blue, so I'm on the journey to get the healthiest before the big 4-0. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Just don't go too hard. Don't do anything that's gonna have a negative effect on you because that will drag on in your 40s. Blue, oh yeah, we have Milo's here. Yeah, did you ever try Milo's? Do you like it? Like I said, I usually do half water, half Milo's, and yeah, it's good. It feels good. Blue, yeah, it's weird, but I keep hearing people say 40s are better than 30s. I think that's really case dependent. If you're healthy in your 40s compared to your 30s, yeah, I think that once you hit about 40 is when you really start taking your health seriously, at least for me and for a lot of people. So people may feel better in their 40s compared to their 30s. Generally, they have more money in their 40s than they did in their 30s. And their whole thought process, their intellectual development is in a much better place than it was in their 30s. So yeah, I'm not disappointed with being in my 40s. Blue, yes sir, that makes sense. Blue, yeah, I get that. I'm not entirely sure what you're responding to. I said a lot of garbage in the past few minutes, but I'm gonna go get ready for H's live. All right, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I think I'm gonna log out myself. But yeah, this one was good. We'll do it again sometimes.